Solid Edge mold tooling. In this video we will demonstrate how to create and position ejector pins for a given part. We have a pattern of two parting zone inserts. The reference one is shown in a different color. We'll start by creating a sketch to define the positions of the ejector pins. In Solid Edge mold tooling, sketches can be used to easily position mold components. Each circle of the sketch defines a position for a component. In this case, we will create ejector pins, so we will include some details of the plastic part itself. The circles in the sketches define the X and Y position, but the Z level is not defined by the sketches plane. The Z level is set by selecting a face, a plane, or, as it is the case for ejector pins, is defined automatically to use the correct face of the ejector plate on the mold base. We'll now finish the sketch creation and rename it according to its purpose so it's easier to find when needed. The sketch was created at the top level assembly, but we have a pattern of insert parting zones, so if we want to have the ejector pins in both instances, we must copy it into the reference parting zone assembly, as the other instance is only a copy of the reference one. We'll now enter the Place Mold Component command. We select the ejection components family and pick the ejector pin to place from one of the available catalogs. Now we need to set the dimensions for the ejector pin. The ones in capital letters are the main and the only ones that need to be set, as the others are dependent. Once defined, we close the dimensions dialog and check that the ejector pin height is not enough to reach the part, so we will use the catalog reference to select the bigger height. We can immediately check that it now reaches the part, so we move to the placement step. In this specific case, we'll use the sketch to define the positions of the ejector pins, so we'll enter in the sketch selection, pick it, and validate the selection. The pattern of ejector pins is created in the reference parting zone, but it won't be trimmed by the parting surface until the command is finished. The pattern is represented also in the instance parting zone, as it's a copy of the reference. We may now finish the command. The trimming operations of the ejector pins against the parting surface are made, and the intersections between the plates and the ejector pins are calculated so that the resulting holes are created in the plates. While it updates the remaining features, let me just add that all sorts of components can be created using sketches to define the positions, and a single sketch can be used to create different patterns of components. Check that the ejector pin pattern entry was added in the mold tooling edge bar below the parting zone, indicating the dependencies. Also check that the ejector pins were trimmed by the parting surface. The details in the part where the ejector pins touch are now clear. As the sketch to position the ejector pins was created by including edges of the part itself, if a change is made on the part, it's propagated to the associated sketch and, therefore, to the ejector pins pattern. We can now see the ejector pins of both parting zones as well as the parts. This makes the operation of creating different components very easy and flexible. We'll now show the mold base plates. And this concludes the ejector pin creation video demonstration for Solid Edge mold tooling. Thank you for watching. Visit us at www.smmoldtooling.com.